Hello everyone. So I'm out here today and just doing a little touching up of different things. I've already started planting some of my spring crops to try to take advantage of the weather that we were having. And so we are being in Chicago in zone 6. We know we have that hot summer for 2 days, and then we have that fall weather, then we have a little bit of winter, then we have a little bit of spring, all in 1 week. So I'm out here now just going to try to cover up the babies and do a couple things, but just want to do a little brief garden tour just to kind of let you see where things are going. So stick around. Okay, so I am walking out of my back door to where I house the seedlings. I'm still putting some out, so just walking out here. I did get a chance to add these little guys. I don't know if I had a chance to show you those last time, but I did go ahead and add these along the fence line here. When I had the fence built, I did want to just take advantage of any possible growth space. So I just added this one here, right here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that up later today. I'm thinking about adding some right here in this little gap. So I'm thinking about adding some here. Not sure. I do have the bags for them, but just gonna see. And if nothing else, those will just be flowers. So these here, I had to pull these out. They were done and over with, but I wanted them to dry out a little bit because I want to place them in my compost. So I'm just letting them dry out. Same thing with this one. The bugs got to this cauliflower, so I don't want to keep it. So I just pulled it out, but I do like the greens, so I'm gonna save them for the greens and I'll go ahead and harvest the greens. And I usually like to put them in a smoothie, so that's why this is here. And then my Brussels right there. So I had started planting in this. So I'm just trying to see how I want to do this. Not quite certain yet, but because the weather is changing and we're going to get a little freeze, I want to call it, getting into the teens. I'm going to go ahead and cover this back up, but I'm going to completely plant it out. So I'm going to do that today. Finish planting this out. Over here in what I call my patio garden, or the green stalk area, I did get a chance to put a few kale and Swiss chard, only kale and Swiss chard. I decided that all of the tops to the green stalks, I'm gonna use those for my taller growing plants like the Swiss chard, kale, perhaps for the fall and the spring, maybe some turnip greens and things of that nature, and maybe a broccoli or two. But I also will put the broccoli in some of the lower tiers, but the top tiers is what I'm going to use for those. And then instead of doing every pocket, I'll probably put a small pocket where probably have some lettuce or some spinach or something like that, just so I can give them that little bit of space. So that's what I'm doing. So I did get a chance to put some here, and then over here in the two newer green stalks, I did get a chance to put some in there, some kale, some little kale, and that's some lettuce. So I was just trying different things to see how I like the look of it. And then I'll go ahead and refresh that area. But still, I haven't put together the snow yet. The snow green stalk, I was going to, but I wanted to wait for a minute because I'm noticing that when the sun is shining, these two don't get the proper light that they would probably get in the summertime, here in the spring, and possibly the fall. So I think I might extend those this way. So before I put this one here in the way, right here where it was gonna go, I might have to end up moving them along this way. So that's why this one isn't done yet, because I think I have to readjust the way that they're positioned. So I'm just waiting to do that. And then my newer garden bed that was just added, this just simply has some Swiss chard here. And again, every plant that you see was started in the seed room. So these are the Swiss chards. And then behind each Swiss chard, I have another one here I haven't planted yet, is all spinach. And then in the center is all spinach. So this bed will be entirely spinach and Swiss chard. And Swiss chard and spinach do fairly well in partial shade and in this weather. So I'm not even going to cover them up. I'm going to let them do their thing. And then let me get over here. The greenhouse I'm actually cleaning out, so I'll go in there last to kind of show you that. So you can kind of see what that is, what's going on with that. Going back here into the main garden, which is what I'm about to do as we speak. If I can just get the latch. There we go. Is I am going to, I'm not going to plant anything in these just yet. If I do, it'll probably be the snap peas, but I don't think I'm going to do those. I think I'm going to put the snap peas in they're going to share a bag with some of these brassicas here so they can grow over the vines. Maybe here, but I doubt it. But I did want you to see I did get a chance to plant out a few things here, all of which I'm going to go ahead and recover up. So that's why I have these, bought these off Amazon. So I'm just going to add them to all of these little raised beds and put the little covers over them. I'm not going to cover my grow bags. Those are just broccoli and the Brussels sprouts back here. Let me show them to you. So that's my broccoli there, and Brussels in that far container there. These here are just purple top turnips, with each of these garden beds having a lettuce in the center. This lettuce here is Paris Island. This lettuce here is Buttercrunch. This bed is all curly mustards and slick mustards, or Florida broadleaf. So those two are Florida broadleaf. These two are curly mustards. I'm not convinced that they're curly mustards. I actually think they're my purple, but that's what it said on the container. But these were some seeds, new set of seeds that I purchased. And I gotta look and see where I purchased it from. But I'm certain it's Etsy. I'm just not sure the supplier. And then over here, I do have my cabbage. So that's red acre cabbage. And then my broccoli, that is, I want to call it Dicico, Dicicco. And that is, which one is that one? That's the Green Magic. And then here is Buttercrunch lettuce right here in the front. It wasn't spinach right here. I don't know if you can see that. Spinach. If it don't come, it don't come. I have plenty. When I say plenty of spinach that I can replace that with. So I'm not worried about that at all. And then over here is, these two are going to be more, I'm going to put my wasabi mustards here. And then these are going to be these are more Florida broadleaf or slick mustards. And then this one is Marvel of Four Seasons. And then here, no. That's a Paris Island. That's a Paris, not Paris Island. Pablo Crisp Head. Pablo Crisp Head. This here is, this was a volunteer that was in one of my plants, but it is lettuce. I'm just not sure the variety in the center here. And then over here are just the regular turnip greens. They're not the turnip bottoms. They're just turnips, turnip greens. And then in this bed, where you see the two holes at, that's going to be my cauliflower, because cauliflower for me do not really fare well when it gets super cold. I'm not going to put it in here despite having the frost cover, because it takes so much effort to grow cauliflower. I'm reluctant to put it in here, but everyone is insisting, everyone meaning my husband and my carpenter, who has done a lot of work out here. They're like, just go ahead and see. So I do have plenty, so I'm debating. I said, maybe I should put the cauliflower out here and just see how it goes with the frost cover, because I know without the frost cover, it does not do well. But cauliflower takes so long to grow. I'm afraid that my seedlings will die off, and I only have so many. And I just don't want to have to start over. But I'm still debating. So on the next video, if you see the cauliflower here, just know I just went on ahead and took their advice and just decided to do it. But besides that, we have some cabbage over here. This here is all seasons cabbage. Both of those are all seasons. The one far next to the purple kale over there, that's the same purple kale from last season. I just didn't take it out. I'm going to take it out. I just wanted that placeholder there because I'm going to put another scarlet kale. Even though kale is biennial, I just want to replace it. I have plenty of kale that I can replace that kale over there with. And that's that kale there. So that's another all seasons cabbage, the kale. And then this is bok choy, white stem bok choy. White stem bok choy here. This is broccoli rabe. And this is Chinese broccoli here with Pablo crisp head lettuce in the center. And then those two smaller plants, that's my purple kohlrabi. Okay. Well, one regular kohlrabi, one purple kohlrabi. So I don't want to overcrowd this bed. And that's another volunteer lettuce there. I'm going to put another volunteer lettuce because I have a couple that I'm not sure the variety, because lettuce seeds, you know, they fall all over the place and germinate and other things, and I just keep them. So I'll put another one there. I have plenty that are unlabeled. So that's all I'm going to grow in this bed for the spring. And then as we head back, I'm still debating on whether or not I want to fill these up for the spring, but for sure, one of the two will be filled up for the summer. Not sure which one I'm going to do yet, but we're working on it. And then over here, I've already started my, I call this my bok choy or choy area. So we have some organic bok choy here. This is my purple lady bok choy there. This is going to be tat soy here. It's on that table. I'm going to plant it out. So tat soy here, tat soy here. This is winter choy there, and then red tat soy here. So I'm just getting this area ready because this is where my tomato alley is going to be. But I'm not sure if I'm going to use the grow bags or my the white food grade buckets that I have. Still deciding. I like the look of everything being black over here because I did buy the color because I like a pop of color, but I also like the pop of color under that grow space. Even though mostly all of these grow bags, probably not these, but not sure about them, but probably most of these grow bags are going to go in the greenhouse that's going to be back there, because you know, just the harsh weather we have, it does deteriorates my grow bags pretty bad, and I didn't really want to have to constantly keep replacing them more sooner than I have to. So they'll probably go in the greenhouse, and I'll put my food grade buckets out here. So though I like the look of this, I don't know. Haven't decided yet. So there will be another row here, of course, though. Once I get all of my tomatoes, there'll be 21 different varieties of tomatoes here. And then in this space here, where you see nothing, where there were grow bags, I just took them and put them over there so that he will have room to build my tomato alley. And then along this wall here, nothing is in these just yet. I'm gonna finish filling these up. But over here is still that garlic. So that garlic, I don't know if you can see some of it poking through, but yeah, it hasn't showed much signs of growth since the last time that we all got together, but they're still doing pretty well. And then over here is just all Pablo crisp head. And these are my 30-gallon grow bags. So the summer, I'm thinking I'm gonna try some corn in these bags. It's not those, because those are gonna grow until June, but I'm gonna try some corn in these bags and see how that works. So experimental for me. And then over here, there's nothing in these. On this side, I still have a bunch of plants that I'm trying to wait for this frost to pass through. I think we're gonna get snow a couple times, so I'm not really comfortable putting certain things out here, though mostly everything that I'm growing is a cool weather crop, but snow can have its effect on certain things. This here's more kale. This is Premier Kale. So all of these 4 bags here, not these 4, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will be 6 black grow bags. Those will all either have kale or my turnip greens. These here are turnips, turnip greens, and then there will be another kale here. So all 3 of these will be turnips. That one doesn't have any just yet, and then it'll be another kale here. And then collard greens are going those grow bags eventually that I'm going to put around the side. Collard greens are cold hardy, so I am thinking about putting them out if I have time today. If not, they'll just go out the first chance I get. It's supposed to rain for the next 2 days out here, so I don't know if I have time to get to it. There will definitely be some collards in here as well. So what I plan to put in this row here is, like I told you, I have that those Brussels there, broccoli here, cauliflower here, broccoli here, cauliflower there, broccoli here, and then collards. So that's the plan for this area here. So slowly but surely getting to it. I did have the grandkids out helping me, so that's how we were able to get this part done. But when it's just me, I see something and I work on that project until it's done, to the point where I lose track of time. So I'm trying to, just spread my time evenly. And then this bed here, I had hoped to get to this one today. I may be able to. This is just going to have some more, a variety of different things, some Swiss chard, kale, and perhaps maybe some kohlrabi, just a bunch of things and some lettuce. So I'm just going to do a variety in here just because, just to see. So I haven't ever planted in this, as you can see. So I'm going to fill this up. Definitely going to fill it up today. I don't know if I'll get a chance to plant in it, but that's the plan. But I'll take you over to the last little area. Let me leave this over here because this is what I'm going to be working on when I come back, putting those little hoops together. And then I'll bring you to the greenhouse once we look at this little area over here. All right. I just love my little fence. I think he did a great job on it. Okay. So in this area that you see right here, these are already planted out. I do not see my comfrey coming up, so, which is normal, but it will. If it doesn't, I'll just have to redo it. And then here's my lavender that hasn't sprouted. In the greenhouse, it's starting to sprout, but out here it hasn't, which is why I'm not concerned with the comfrey. And then my purple dome aster. So these are still dormant, which I expected to be because the weather has not gotten into where they would come up. So that's typical for them. Now, I originally had plans for these bins, but my carpenter has come up with some better ideas. So I don't think I was gonna do like a bin system. So a bin with a trellis and another bin. That was the original plan that I had to make use of this space here. But he put together some plans that I really like. So I think I'm gonna probably go with his plans. And then I'll just keep this here and just probably add a couple more just in this space because I liked his system. Or I might just move it further back because his are much more aesthetically pleasing to me. Once we get rid of all this debris, this is still some debris from when we had the trees cut down and they had to dig into the concrete here. So working on this, it's been too cold to do it. This is typically my pepper table that I have my peppers growing on in the summer. Mostly all of these would be lettuces once the weather breaks a little bit more, so that I'll just have different varieties of lettuce. I always have my friends and a couple of family members that come by and they take the whole head of lettuce, which is what I want them to do because I grow so much of it. So I'm just gonna put it here. So when they come, like at the grocery store, they choose the head they want to take it or choose the stalks or the leaves or whatever. I like that idea. I did that a couple times and it worked out. So I'm gonna do it again. All of this will be lettuce. Over here's my bucket table. So a lot of my buckets are chipping and breaking. So I have bought new buckets to replace everything over here. The ones that are still sturdy, probably use those for something, but these will all be replaced because I do have them. I just have not, because of the weather, had a chance to pull them all out. These were in my greenhouse for the winter. I took what I wanted to take and I'm letting them flower because I want the seeds. So my broccoli is flowering and it is such a beautiful flower that I don't normally let do that. I just choose one or two plants. And if you look at it, it's so pretty. So that's what I'm letting it. I'm letting it go to seed so that I don't have to buy any more seeds. This is my Arcadia broccoli that is hard for me to find. So I ended up getting this plant, the seeds, about 2 or 3 years ago. And this is the last plant. So I need the seeds. So I'm letting that one go to seed. This one, what is this Arcadia too? Yeah, that's Arcadia. So I was hoping to let both go to seed. It did not. So this one did. So we're going to go with that one. It still may because it's not completely dead, as you can see. But I definitely want the seeds from it. And so this is the bucket table. And as I stated before, this was not here last year. What was here last year was the table that I had my okra and my eggplant growing on. So I like the idea of having much more space to grow more okra because I love okra. I'm not a huge fan of eggplant, but a friend of mine is, so she likes eggplant, so I'm going to grow a couple of different varieties for her. And then my Egyptian walking onions will have their own space here now. Plus, I would like to have more of those. So eventually, I would want a couple more containers of those because I do use them quite often. And then this table here, which I've never used, as you can see, this would be my sweet potato table. It was going to be my herb table, but I looked at the depth of it, and I think it would do much better for the summer for me, because this place gets tons of sun. I think I'm going to make this my sweet potato table. So that's what I'm going to fill up and use for that. I'm trying to decide on if I'm going to fill the bottom with a little bit of compost or completely with a lot of dirt. It's so you can see the angle of it. It's not that much to fill, so I think I'm probably just gonna fill that up with my soil blend that I do. But that would be my sweet potatoes. I do like the idea of growing herbs here, but I really need a dedicated spot for my sweet potatoes. I don't like switching them around a lot. And then over here, where you see absolutely nothing, he's working on some plans for this. I'm trying to, because this is such an eyesore for me. I don't know what I want to do with the space. I'm kind of open. So I don't have plans for this just yet, but this will definitely, something has to go here because I hate walking over here. And then back there, that is my grapevine. So I do have 2 additional grapevines that have been planted. I can't really see them, but I'll kind of show you there. So still haven't pruned this one yet, guys. It is crazy, but we have one there and one on that side. So I was trying to allot a small space for each set of grapevines, but this was the very first grapevine ever that I grew and didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just literally stuck it in the ground, didn't expect nothing of it, and look what we have. So this one was not done the way I originally wanted, but you live and you learn. It does produce grapes, so I'm not gonna complain. I had a second one here. It was just too close to that one. It was ridiculous. So we did have to sacrifice one. I should ideally planted it in the center, but you live and you learn. So these were planted properly. I don't expect the grapes from them anytime soon. So we got time because I really want to get that one pruned. And before we go in the greenhouse, I don't expect that there would be anything back here, but I do want to show you, and that is the asparagus patch and the peach tree. The apple tree will be planted in the next 2 weeks or so. It has not arrived yet, but it should be here this week. And I'm trying to wait for the ground to get to the way I want it to be, but not just yet. And so back here, some more Egyptian walking onions that I'm gonna eventually pull and put them in a different container. I like the way they grow out here, but they take over if I don't manage them. So right here, you don't see anything. We still haven't, he's building an actual box for these. So this is where my asparagus will grow, and I'm gonna extend it over this way after I kind of get out here and de-weed, which is the bane of my existence. I absolutely hate it, but if you don't, it takes over. But this is where the asparagus will grow. I'm thinking about digging them up because I don't like this space because it's heavily weeded because of my neighbor's trees. But what can you say? And then right here is the little peach tree, and I'm excited for it. But this is my tree, so we'll see. And of course, not this year, but probably next year, it may bear us a little bit of fruit. We'll see how well it grows. But it's been getting plenty of nutrients. I come back here and give it the nutrients it needs. Not as of yet, because the ground constantly goes back and forth as far as freezing and thawing where this is planted. But we'll see. We'll see. And we'll end this with going into the greenhouse. I do plan to have some more updates with the coop. He's actually building that also. So I'm waiting on, we were gonna use this for the run. We opted against it because he wants to kind of build a all-in-one cohesive coop, and I'm all for it. So I'm possibly have an idea of what I want to use this one for. Haven't made up my mind just yet, but it's a thought. Not sure just yet, so I'm not gonna bank on it 100% until I see how big the coop is, and then that'll help me decide on whether or not I'm gonna use that chicken run for something else. I'm sorry guys, my dress is long and it keeps getting snagged. All right, and then finally in the greenhouse, I'm still working on cleaning it out. I've gotten farther than I thought I would with getting it together. Let's see what the temperature is in here. Ah, yes. So the temperature in here is what I want it to be. I don't know if you can see that there. Yes. So I kept the windows open all night because it can get extremely hot in here. It's gotten up to 120 degrees. My Swiss chard was wilting so bad. I felt so bad for it, but oh gosh. But everything is coming along nicely. These are all plants from last year. Nothing in this greenhouse is new this season. Nothing. So whatever you see was here last year, and that's kind of what we were trying to do. Just trying to see what will hold up and what won't. The rhubarb has come back because the temperature in here is ideal for it. The collards, spinach, cabbage. This is Catarina cabbage. This one has died off. That's the broccoli. We harvested it a couple times. I was trying to hold on to it to get the seed, but did not work. So we eventually pulled that. I don't know what that is. I'll have to do a little to figure out what that plant is. I just noticed it right now as we're speaking. That is something that's probably a weed, but just noticed it just now. That Russian kale has been there. That butter crunch. I don't think that's butter crunch. I think that's Marvel of Four Seasons actually, because that's what it looks like. That lettuce, again, nothing has been replanted. This is cauliflower. This is giant noble spinach. These radishes. So I do not expect radishes from these. They were in here because I was hoping to see what they would do in the winter. More of an experiment, right? To see if I could get the radish to grow in this greenhouse in the winter. There is no radish at the bottom. But the tops, guys, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Okay, this has been here all winter. This was planted in either September or October of last year. And we're now in March. So I definitely love the greens. I'm not going to complain, but I don't know. But it's beautiful. So more spinach and more spinach here. We love spinach. I want the greenhouse for spinach. Like, that's how much spinach we eat. More spinach there. That's strawberry spinach. Now, a couple videos back, I had just threw some seeds in the pot. I just wanted to see what they would do. And I threw them in the greenhouse and left them. Forgot about them. And then about a month or two ago, I'm like, wait a minute. What is that? That looks like that strawberry spinach I planted. And it definitely is, guys. So I don't know how many plants is in this one container. I thinned them out and I thought, let me see if I can tell you. I don't know. Let me pull it back some. I don't know. Like, I really don't. But I'm going to put it in a bigger container. Just so I can see what it does. But it's so pretty. And then that's some Tom Thumb there. Broadleaf endives. And then look, I told you my lavender in the greenhouse is coming back because it's definitely some ideal temperatures for the lavender. It's definitely coming back. These are my oregano, which, as you know, it will come back. Chives, they never died off. They just kept going. I just moved them to a bigger pot. These were beet tops that I was just, again, experimenting with everything in here. My matcha corn salad, it's fine. These are some more beet tops. Why these survived and these are struggling, I don't know, but this is why I did it, just to see. Sage is fine, rosemary, and my thyme will come back. I have tons of thyme everywhere, so if it doesn't come back, oh well. And then more beet tops. This is some parsley, spinach, just different things. So all of which, everything that did not come back, with the exception of the beets, I already have planted and have new seeds growing. So the parsley, even more thyme, even more rosemary, just everything in here because I like to keep it in an abundance. So just letting you see. So I love experimenting in this greenhouse. It kind of helps me kind of determine what I'm going to do for the summer and the spring and even over the winter here in my zone. And I don't know if you didn't catch the last video, it got so hot in here because we did not have a ventilation system. So I had my contractor put that in here, and I love it. The goal was to make sure it doesn't get below freezing in here and that it doesn't get above 80 degrees in here in the summer, because in the summer it is unbearable. So that was the whole reason. I don't care about the cold because mostly everything I grow in the winter is a cool season crop. I'm not trying to grow tomatoes in here. The newer greenhouse would be for that. This one, I just wanted to not be too hot. That was the main thing. My mint tolerated it all. It tolerated when the temperatures dropped down to, I believe in here, before we did anything, we just wanted to see how cold it would get. I think it got down to like 19, maybe 12, I'm thinking. It got down to like 12, I think, at the lowest in here. And oh my gosh, it did not do anything to it. This and the Swiss chard didn't bat an eye. A lot of other things struggled. Even the radish tops struggled because they were looking a little crazy. But the mint and the Swiss chard didn't bat an eye. Alrighty, so just wanted to kind of, just share what's going on here. I'm trying to clear everything out of here because we want to do something different to the floor to make this a little bit more level. But that's all. Just kind of giving you guys an update on what's going on here. Nothing has come back over there in my little herb patch. I'll walk over there really quickly so you can see that nothing over here. I had dug this up a little bit to get a few little weeds that were growing. This was in the greenhouse. This is some mustard greens. I didn't expect them to do anything. I just set them out here just so I could kind of put everything back to where it was. But they're growing. They're even coming back. So that's crazy. But yeah, so nothing over here from last year that was not in the greenhouse has come back. That was in the greenhouse. That's not gonna make it, but just so you can see. All right. So you guys can look forward to me trying to give you an update in the next week. I'll try to do this update after this weather calms down. I think we're gonna drop down to these low temperatures again for about another week, maybe a week and a half, and then we'll come back in and I'll do another update. All right, with that being said, happy growing, everyone.